Oh. No, you don't have to read it unless you want to. That's like our group chat thing.
You have location, mention, hashtag, GIF, and music. Yeah, and you're missing like the photo thing where you can put a different photo in there. Pull the slide and questions.
Look cool. I can't even use it if I'm to Facebook. So just can't agree or something. Appreciate it.
Because I don't have any legitimate reason to use it. And I know that you don't have to have a legitimate reason to use things on Instagram stories, but I'm just doing it for the sake of doing it. I feel like,
should do it for those of us who can't. Say, ask Lindsay a question.
Hey, y'all.
How are you?
Hi.
While I'm here, I'm like, Lindsay, ask questions.
I'm visiting.
Hello.
Hey, girl. How are you?
How are you doing?
Good.
Good to see you.
I didn't hear what you say.
Over the leg.
I'm not sure.
What did she say?
What did you say?
I said it's good to see you.
She said it's good to see you.
Oh, likewise. Or did I already say that? Sorry. Y'all know it's the end of the day. So, Haley is sitting across the table from me. It's kind of awkward. But it would be more awkward if she was actually signed in.
On video.
And I could see her like in two different places. But
I kind of want to seal them, but it's
okay. Just curious if anyone listened to the National Wake Up Call this week.
Was it the girl that was at Summit? Was that this week or last week?
Well, this girl was at Summit too, Ali Tessitore. She was on a panel, I believe. She cried and had mascara running down her face.
Yes, I listened to that.
Do you remember that? Remember she was like on the far right of the stage? They talked about that. Yeah, they talked about it at the National Wake Up Call today. I was like, you're that girl. That's how everybody's going to remember you. Okay, so that's what we're going to chat about tonight. And it was really good. I picked up a lot of good nuggets from it. It's very simple. I only had to create like 2 slides worth of notes. So yeah, it's really simple stuff. I think we'll have some time to chat at the end. But let me share my screen. Okay. Get all the windows closed. Yeah, Ali Tessitore is her name. Click. Okay. So Lift 4 starts Monday. That's exciting. And I was kind of brainstorming. I would like to do some of the like live Zoom workouts a few times in our challenge group. I think that has potential to be fun and to help keep people motivated. So we'll probably chat some more about that in the future. I don't know if we want to try to do one on Monday or not, but we could if we wanted to pick kind of what we think would be like a neutral time for people. Of course, it won't work for everybody, but we could also pick like what time different ones of us are working out and just say, you know, like here's the Zoom link to work out at 6, here's one at 7, here's one at 8, you know, whatever time zone you're in. And just like if everyone wanted to send that to me, I could compile like a list so people could say, oh, I'm going to join, you know, whichever one fits in my schedule. Just an idea. I know a lot of challenge groups are doing that now and it's kind of fun. And I know sometimes we have pushback. Haley and I were talking about this morning. She was talking to a girl who pushback because she's like, I can't work out at home by myself. Like, I need people, I need accountability. And so adding that element in occasionally might be helpful for some challengers. But anyways, I wanted to let y'all know, and I did post this in our challenge group, but I'm going to show it to you real quick. It's just a way that I'm displaying on my website what challenge groups are either happening and ongoing or are coming up. And you can feel free to share this, but it's just a tab. It's the first tab on my website called Accountability and Support. And so you'll notice under Lift 4 that I have start dates for Monday, and then 4 weeks later, and then 4 weeks later, and 4 weeks later. I have a lot of challengers who are current BOD subscribers who are just waiting for October when it is available on BOD without having to pay anything. And so I've been promising them, like, I will run a challenge group for you, because I totally understand if you don't want to spend the money now for early access. Like, I still want to provide plenty of support for people who already are paying customers that don't want to spend that money early. So make sure that you know these dates and know that you can be inviting people, after Monday, you can be inviting people to start the August 13th one and then the September 10th one. And we'll just create challenge tracker app groups around those start dates so that those people can kind of jump in together. There's also the To Be Mindset one on here. And then just like our general, like, here's what our challenge group's about. This FAQ, I updated it a little bit to fit the new format that we're doing. So that's been on my to-do list for several weeks. But yeah, y'all feel free to share that. If anyone ever clicks the apply and fills out that form, it is my personal form, but I will absolutely, like, if it's somebody else's challenger or somebody that you're talking to, I'll absolutely let you know that they filled that out and they're interested, or I'll kind of chat with them and say, how did you find this? And, we'll identify if someone else sent them there. So just wanted y'all to be aware of that. But preaching to the choir right now, because everyone listening is registered for Summit 2019, so I don't have to try and convince y'all to go. But for anybody that watches later on, like, such an important event, like, so pivotal in just in whatever degree you want to take your business in. And it's just fun. It's fun. And I'm excited this next year because I have plans to make the Success Club party, and I have plans and goals to make the leadership ladder dinner, which is a different thing that I've never gotten to do before. And I will not have a husband to be my guest at either of those things. So basically, I'm just going to look at who has the highest business activity out of those that are going that doesn't qualify for those things themselves. I would love it if everyone qualified for it. But and then I get to choose to take a guest with me to those things if I indeed qualify for them. So just a little something fun to think about. Why is this not going down? Hold on. Okay, recognition time. Annie and Lindsay are kind of at the top of that. That's exciting. Success Club points thus far in the month. Sarah, I want to recognize her. Sarah is a loyalty customer coach and has been doing this about a month, has seen some great results, and just shared about it with her no, you're fine. Shared about it with her sister-in-law, and her sister-in-law signed up, like wanted to sign up, and she signed up as a coach. And so that's what we're wanting to encourage people to do, is to join this community, to join this tribe, and for it to be very effortless. And it worked really well for Sarah. She looked at the share cart instructions and was able to help get her sister-in-law started. So super exciting, super fun. And if y'all haven't seen my stories today, check them out because I kind of recognize all of y'all. I did not have a chance, or I didn't think about it till afterwards. I didn't tag you, and I wish I would have, but I was like in my OB-GYN's office and was just a little distracted. So next time I'll tag y'all. Sorry that I didn't get the tag done, but you are recognized today. And this is still, okay. So Allie talked in the National Wake Up Call about how to become fearless. And her story is really cool because she shared how it really started several years ago when she had her third child. And she was dealing like terribly with postpartum depression and anxiety and just fear of everything. Like she got to a point where she couldn't even drive a car. Like she could not stand to be in social settings, like just crippled by fear just in her life. And she kind of shares the story about how coaching got her out of that. And even then, like she became a pretty like quickly successful coach, but then she hit this point in her business where she just kind of hit a wall and didn't understand what it was until she identified that she was fearless with sharing about the fitness programs and the shakes and the challenge groups, but she was still very much afraid of sharing about the business opportunity. And so that's kind of what this call was about, was how to become fearless in sharing about the business itself and how how that can be an opportunity in and of itself. So her first main point, and like I said, this is very simple. She had very simple points, but her first point was like become rooted in why you started and why you're here. And so she said a good practice, and I've heard this before. I feel like I need to do this again, especially when I go to like draft post at the beginning of the week, is like have a list of why you said yes to coaching and why you're still saying yes to it. Like just write down those reasons, because my reason might be different from your reason. And she kind of made that point, like she was seeing all these other coaches post about like how it was all about financial freedom, but she said it never was that for her. Like it has provided that for her, but it was about helping other people to her. And so she had to find her own voice in sharing about that and stop trying to replicate the financial freedom posts and call to actions that people were doing for that. So just make a list, you know, all the reasons why you said yes and why you continue to say yes. You know, is it the community that you get to be a part of? Is it because of your, like you need the accountability for your own health and fitness journey? Like whatever the reasons are, there's no reason to be ashamed of whatever your reasons are. You know, just make a list of that. And then we'll circle back around in a minute to what you can do with that list. But she made the point, you know, get uncomfortable anytime in her business where she felt like she wasn't seeing the growth she wanted. She had to ask, am I just sitting in my comfort zone? Like where do I need to challenge myself? Where do I need to grow? And then thirdly, along with that, like take action. We've got to act. We can't just accumulate knowledge and accumulate training. Like we've got to take action. And that's, of course, something that we've been hearing a lot lately, and especially in and during and coming out of Summit as well. And so then she gave just like some daily practices. She said, you know, we've got to live and lead your mission. And she referenced a few summits back, I think she said Shaun T asked the question, like, what if you lived in a glass house? Like, what would people see that how you live day in and day out matches with what you're sharing on social media? Like, does the two go together? Are you, like, do you have a mission for what you're doing? And are you living that out every single day? And are you leading out in that? And then she also made the point to invite 5 people daily to the coaching opportunity. And I think that's something that challenged me as well, because right now I'm doing 20 invitations a day, but I don't know that I focus in on at least 5 of those being strictly to the business opportunity. And so that was a good challenge and kind of refocus for me that I want to kind of zone in on. But she said, you know, share weekly on social media about the coaching opportunity and go back to that list of your whys, why you said yes, and like let that inform what you share. So she said she always posts about it on Thursdays just because, it's paycheck day. It's in your mind. And I think that's something I'm going to start trying to do, like just making every Thursday, I'm going to share something about the coaching opportunity that I love and a way that people can find out more information or get involved. And so maybe one week I talk about the community and how much, I love being a part of working with people that I am genuine friends with, maybe the next week it is about financial freedom, just whatever it is, just consistently sharing on social media about the actual business opportunity with things. And then she said she shares daily in her stories, just little tidbits about what it is that she does as a coach, why she loves coaching, just little things like that. She said, she called it a coach info session or a coaching sneak peek, coaching business opportunity presentation, all those different names. She said she used to host one monthly, but now she hosts one weekly for herself, but also for her team. And so, knowing when our team's doing that and really plugging into that and inviting people. And then this was really cool. And I've kind of heard this idea tossed around, but I really want to spend some more time thinking through it. But she said every 3 months she leads what she calls a coach fellowship. And basically it's where she hosts people at her house. She mails out postcards to 20 to 40 friends who live in the area. And she does the coaching opportunity presentation from her house, and she invites all of her local teammates to come. And so she's like, we eat food together, we hang out, and they get to actually experience the culture of our team. And then I'm able to, tell them more about it and answer questions and stuff. So I thought that would be something that all of us could try and do. It doesn't have to be 40 people. Like, you can just have 3 to 5 people over. And just like in brainstorming, I was thinking, it would be fun to like cook together, to like, you could cook for just a few people, or you could ask them to come over and like help you cook. You could say, here's a recipe that I learned from the resources that I have available to me. For dessert, we're going to have like different samples of Shakeology. And then we're all going to sit down and watch this 11-minute video that explains really well what coaching entails. And then you're just going to hear from a few of us and hear kind of our stories. And, like for those of you who maybe don't have teammates nearby, you could always like even Skype in or FaceTime in another coach and just say, I'm going to get Lindsay on the phone real quick because I want you to really hear her story. So it's really like making them commit to a time for that sneak peek where like they get all their questions asked and answered. That they're watching what you're wanting them to watch and getting that information. And I think it could just be a really, really cool way to share as authentically as possible about our culture and our community. So just something to think about and chew on. I thought it was a really good idea. So that's basically it. I mean, she just kind of walked through like taking action and actually doing those things daily, weekly, monthly, whatever it is what will take away the fear that we have in presenting the business opportunity. So yeah, super quick, super simple. Any thoughts, comments, biggest takeaway, something you heard that you're like, oh, I need to do that differently now, or I need to implement that now. Or maybe that's something that I need to kind of work on when I have a chance to think about it, like anything like that. Do you think you struggle with the fear of inviting to the business opportunity? Haley nodded.
Yeah, sometimes. Or it's gotten better just because like I've finally gotten to the point where I'm like legitimately enjoying it, and so I feel more genuine when I invite. But I have more fear of inviting to like challenge groups or something, because I feel like if I'm inviting to coaching, then that's a positive. Like I don't feel like it to be construed as, hey, you look like you need to exercise or something like that. Like it's like, hey, these are the things that I really appreciate about you. But
That's good. I've noticed in your post, even since Summit, that you've become bolder in sharing about the coaching opportunity and doing a really good job at that.
I think I need to work on doing it more like she said, like in her stories daily, because I mean, this is how I am in like everything in life. I do things in chunks and I think about things in chunks. And so whenever I'm like, oh, coaching is awesome, then that's like all I talk about. But then I feel like I can get too heavy with it too, and like be too I don't know what word I want to use, but like preachy about it almost. Whereas like I need to get better about like just showing how it's a part of my life. Not like, okay, I'm going to talk about coaching now, but just like, I don't know. I need to figure out better how to like just weave it into normal life.
Yeah. I definitely think there's a balance there, because I've heard and I've seen from Melanie Mitro how she focuses the first half of her month on recruiting to her challenge group, because her challenge group starts mid-month. If y'all can't tell, I basically do everything Melanie tells me to do. So that's the model we have. And then the second half of the month, she focuses on recruiting like to the business opportunity. And like her social media kind of reflects that. But I do think, I think that stories is the answer. And I like Allie's model of like making one post a week about it, you know, but then in your stories sharing, here's the day to day, like here's what my day as a coach looks like. Like I just listened to this today. And so I shared while I was sitting in my doctor's office waiting to see my doctor, I shared that I was doing personal development, you know, that I was listening to Allie's training, and like just showing like as a coach, I'm equipped weekly, and, you know, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for how it develops me, not just as a business owner, but as a person. It's just like little glimpses into this is what this lifestyle is.
I really like the idea of having people over and getting to talk about it in person. This sucks for me because I'm really far away from all of you guys. But I feel like I share so much better in like a one-on-one or one on a few, you know, obviously talking in front of 40 people doesn't thrill me, but, you know, assuming that even half of 40 people show up, you know, getting to sit down and talk about it in real life, I really struggle with sending those messages that just don't sound sincere. Like, I want them to know where I'm coming from when I invite somebody. And only recently do I feel like I've even gotten to the point where I would say to somebody, hey, what do you think about coaching? And part of it is, in my mind, and for what I want with my business right now, it's, hey, if you really love what you're doing and you love the shakes, start as a discount coach. If then you see what could become of it and you want it to be that for you, that's awesome. I'll plug you into the resources for it. I'll hook you up with all of you who want to do it as your full-time gig. But it's hard to have those conversations via like a Facebook message or a text message and not sound super phony. And like, I'm just trying to multi-level market the whole thing all the way out.
Yeah.
So that's a really good idea.
Yeah. And, you know, I've heard that from so many different top coaches, is like, get people on the phone as much as possible. Like try and take out that screen when you can. I mean, we're obviously very grateful for the screen and the fact that we can connect with so many people that we wouldn't otherwise. But I just like, I feel like that's how I've been answering. Like a lot of people have been asking in the team builder text, how would you respond to this? How would you respond to this? And I feel like my go-to answer lately has been, get them on the phone. Like ask them if they'll meet you, because they're misunderstanding, you know, something about this. And the best way to clear that up is for them to hear your voice and like see you and see that this is not a copied and pasted message. Like this is genuine. This is you caring about the person. And yeah, I just think there will never be anything that can replace that, for sure. What else? Any other thoughts about any of this?
I'm like the opposite of Minnie. The thought of like having to come up with responses when on like in person is more terrifying to me.
Yeah, but you
Like-
write beautifully and I don't. So that's why. Like when I read your
I
post,
can't talk.
I'm like, it would take me months to come up with something that insightful.
But like when I watched your video in the coaching sneak peek, I was like, that was beautiful. Why can't I say things like that?
Well, if you thought that was beautiful, then that's so sweet of you.
If you're a taller girl or it really was. And it's cool to see like how different people thrive in different means of communication. Because Jeffrey rocks it at video. And she'll be like she was asking me recently, how do I write? And I was like, have you ever thought about recording yourself and then just writing like what you say? Like that's the most authentic way to write, is write like you would talk. She was like, but I don't know how to talk. I just talk. And I was like, okay, so record yourself and then just write it down. But utilize video as much as possible, because that's more you. And I think people totally connect with video as well.
I would never have thought to record myself and then write it down. That's a really good idea.
Sorry, y'all, I'm getting over a head cold, so I'm coughing constantly. I'll try to mute myself every time I do it. At least there's no screaming child tonight.
Poor bear.
Gosh. Thus far.
So I had someone, when we were talking a little bit last week about like the dream team, I have a cousin who has been like using a personal trainer at a gym. She's been having some really good results. I think part of it is that she really likes going to the gym. She's young. She's got a good looking trainer who she likes spending time with. But like when I think about who I want on my dream team, like the stuff that she's posting is already like coaching stuff that she's just not getting paid for. She's not doing Beachbody products. She's using a personal trainer, but I'm like, she's already like posting like a coach would. Like she's got the before and after photos, like she's like healthy lifestyle. She's got a good balance of it. And then when I try to approach her, part of it is I haven't seen her in person. And so again, I hate that, like, how do I start this conversation via message? And so when I see her in person next time, I really would love to sit down and talk with her. But I think that she would be perfect. And I think that a community of like good, strong women instead of like good looking boys who I feel like she's trying to get the attention of in the gym would be perfect for her. But I don't know how to do it in a way that's not pushy or like saying, hey, are you just doing this for the boys? Like, because I very much get the feeling like that's part of it. And I think that she's making great advances, but I want her to do it for the right reasons. And I think that she'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Lindsay kind of alluded to this a while ago, and it's my favorite way to invite to the coaching opportunity is just to be very open and honest with someone about why I thought of them and why I think they would be good. So like in that situation, I would tell her, you're already showing discipline with your nutrition and with fitness, and you're already encouraging and inspiring others through your post. A lot of people are scared to death to post things on social media. And so the fact that you're sharing and you're encouraging and inspiring people, even though you're not getting paid for it, like you're doing so many activities that a coach already does. Do you know much about this opportunity? And then based on that, I really think that 11-minute video is so helpful for just giving a very short, quick overview of here's how you can do what you're already doing, and be a part of a really cool community, and be held to a higher level of accountability with it. And it can provide income for you.
Yeah. Which I think would be a great incentive for her, if she really understood that part of it too.
Yeah.
Do you ever send voice messages?
No, honestly, I always forget about it as an option until I get one from the two of you.
Yeah. That's
And then I'm
so,
like, why don't I use this? I mean,
helpful.
because I definitely communicate better verbally than I do write. I feel like my, I don't know if I would say my sense of humor even, but sometimes my tense is just like, it doesn't come out right in writing the same way it would. Like you would be able to understand my tone more. So maybe that's where I need to start too. I'm trying to take notes of all the ways to get creative with how to do this, but.
There's a really good, I don't know the title of it. It's from Summit like 4 years ago. And if you go to to YouTube and type in Christine Dwyer and Michelle Myers. Michelle Myers was the one at Summit who talked about business responsibility, not opportunity. She was on the National Wake Up Call last week.
I listened to that, actually.
Do what?
I listened to that one today, actually.
Yeah. I got about halfway through it. But if you type in the two of their names, Christine Dwyer and Michelle Myers, on YouTube, I forget the title, but they talk through like how to do more of the in-person over the phone, like inviting to the business opportunity. And it's really, really helpful. And it's even tips like they'll say like text, like in this case, if you wanted to take this situation, what you would do if you followed kind of their like formula for it is you would text her and say, hey, when you get a second, I have something I'd really love to talk to you about. Would you give me a call, or could I call you, at such and such time? And so you kind of set up a time to talk on the phone, and you get them on the phone and you literally don't talk for more than 5 minutes, and you let them know that at the beginning. You say, hey, listen, I've only got about 5 minutes to talk. Is now still a good time for you? And so it kind of lowers their defenses, so they're not like, oh, she's about to talk to me for, 30 minutes about something. It's just like, hey, I've got to go do such and such. I've only got about 5 minutes. And you basically just kind of say that, you thought of them, why you thought of them, and ask if they would have a chance to watch a video, like whatever your business opportunity presentation video is. Find out when they'll watch it and set up a time that you can call them back to discuss it. And so you're like, okay, well, do you think you'd have time? Like, when do you think you would have time to watch it? And you like make them say a time. Like, do you think it'd be tonight, this weekend? Okay, you can watch it this weekend. Well, what if I give you a call like Monday afternoon on your lunch break, and we just kind of chat for 5 minutes or so about it? And so it kind of like lowers the intensity of it and like helps them set up a time to watch something instead of just saying, yeah, I will when I get a chance, and set up that follow-up meeting so that you can have, another conversation about it. But they lay it out really well, and I think it's something I need to try a little bit more. What else? Anything else on your minds, or you are allowed to talk even though you're not on the screen.
That's good. I have a girl today who actually, she was really on board, blah, 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 blah. And then she was like, I don't really be able to do it. I'm going to school and trying to pay for that on my own, and I just don't think I can do it. And gosh, I'm always going to pay. So I was brave and said, well, there's a coaching opportunity, and you can kind of do what I do and be a part of the group and like make money doing it. If you have friends, whoever wants to. Oh, that could be really cool. What do I do? I'd love to do that. So now I'm at the point, but I don't know like what. We can talk about that after. But anyways, that was like bold for me to say that, and then that she was actually interested was really cool. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nice.
Could y'all hear that?
Kind of. Yeah, you never know unless you ask someone. I have had a lot more people, like, a lot of the people I invited the first week of this like push, I did to coaching, and I've had a lot more of them even like express interest. Like there were several that I was like, they probably wouldn't want to, or I was like intimidated to ask, or for whatever reason, that have said like, oh yeah, I'd like to learn about that, or like that sounds cool. What is it, or something? You know, they weren't just a flat out like, no, leave me alone. Like I kind of was afraid of. So that's been cool to see. It kind of like takes a little bit more of the fear out too when it's like not what I was expecting.
At one point in time, like if you were, I feel like the last time I took a training, which has been a while, so maybe this has changed, they talked about like signing your spouse up first. Is that still like the recommendation? Okay. So Colin came home and said he wanted to do the shakes, and I was like, all right, but I'm signing you up as a coach because that's the rule, last I heard. So
yeah, for sure. Because as your business grows and as you cycle, you basically get 2 paychecks. You get one through like your spouse's account and then one through yours.
Even if he never sells anything, like how does that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If he's an Emerald coach, if he becomes an Emerald coach.
I'm sure he won't, but
well, like
he can become an Emerald coach.
Like Nick is lifetime diamond because I've placed coaches underneath him. And so we get 2 pretty nice size paychecks. And I mean he's not coaching at all. But yeah, it grows your income. It's a smart move, and it's something I didn't do until I'd been coaching for a while. So he was a lot lower in my downline than what he should have been.
So and if I become Emerald, then start placing 2 under him so that he then becomes Emerald? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And like as you add coaches, I can help walk you through how to do that, which normally means I'm asking Melissa. Because like I had a really long meeting with she and Robert last week, just looking at my business center, because it's complicated. Like just trying to figure out where to place coaches, and and I've been doing it for a while, but still, like it's the longer you do it, the more complicated it gets, I think.
Yeah.
But Robert and Melissa have been around for a long time, so they're very helpful. And I didn't see this, but did y'all see where she posted her Star Diamond bonus, quarterly bonus today? 42,000. Yeah, Lindsay.
I just stared at it for a little while. Like, did I read that right? Yes.
Yeah, too many zeros. Yeah. But I mean, it just shows you like what, like it really is a cool financial opportunity, like for this thing to grow. And I was sharing with Haley this morning, I had a pretty nice paycheck today, and the majority of it was from Team Cycle bonus, Fast Start bonus, and Fast Start Plus bonus. Like I only had like $30 worth of commissions, and those were from like previous customers, like getting Shakeology, you know, like the Shakeology retention cost, but over $300 just in like Fast Start Plus bonus or Fast Start bonuses. And so signing up a challenger and a coach at the same time, and then another like $150 for a Team Cycle bonus, and then another $100 for the Fast Start Plus bonus. And so like the potential for all those bonus categories to grow, even when you're not making commissions, is like, that's what can really grow your paycheck. And that's, Melissa's been telling me that for a long time. Because for the longest time, my paycheck has just been based off of what I sell, commissions. But she said, like, when you start growing your team, like that's when that paycheck really starts to grow, because of that Team Cycle volume. So it's cool to see that, you know, and you can qualify for 42,000 in a quarterly bonus. I mean, that would be nice.
A quarter. That's not even a whole year.
Right? I don't know that maybe when Nick was on full time at C3, he was making that much. Like,
I was like, ministry salary brain. What is this?
yeah. Michelle Myers is married to a pastor.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah. You can see why it's a draw for pastors' wives. For sure.
Gotta pay the bills somehow.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's about to cut us off, but thank y'all for being here. And Haley, too.
Yeah.
Right here.
Good night.
But